Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sad Sangh Ji, welcome back to another episode of CEO Talks. I'm your presenter Hamaraj, aka Flexing, and joining with us today we have a special guest, not just a special guest but a very familiar face in the Sikh community as well. Joining with us we have Sukhi Wahiwala, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. It's an honour to have you on the show. How are you feeling?
I think the honour's mine to be even thought of in this way.
That's absolutely amazing. How's your day been? What have you been up to so far?
Usual stuff this morning, gone out on a site of a couple of projects and then back here now to meet you guys. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So we know, of course, the Sikh community know that you work a lot of work behind the scenes, and some people might know you as an award-winning business mentor, but others might know you as an Amritari Sikh who's also a multi-millionaire as well. Now, what we want to know is, being a respected member in the Sikh community, where did the whole journey start?
Wow. So, if we're talking about on the level, first of all, Hamraj, that's such a beautiful question. The journey goes right back, obviously, from when I was born. But I've been born into a Gursikh family, and our living, our life has always been very much into Sikh orientation. So I've not really understood any other way. So for me, it was just normal life living. My father, Singh Wahiwala, who was very much in the vein of explaining Sikhi to us at a very young age. Every weekend we'd be sitting together at in our Guru Maharaj and we sit there and have our congregation together as an immediate family. My mum, my late mother, who just passed away late last year, Gurmeet Kaur Wahiwala, I would say has been a tremendous influence in my life, in grounding and keeping me into this a level of a bit of humility in life, I suppose. But the journey within Sikhism is intrinsic in myself. It's been, I didn't actually understand it was the same or different to anything, so I've always lived that way. So the business journey, I suppose you could say, started when I was 8 years old, all the way through. I've only understood business. We're 7 generations in that vein. My father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and it goes right far back. So that's principally our journey. That's
absolutely amazing. I mean, I had the chance to meet some of your children as well. And it's beautiful to see that they all attend bus camps, attend Sikh societies at universities.
That's right, regularly, yes.
Regularly as well. So that's, it's quite inspiring as well. So I mean, I've been doing a bit of research, and I found out that online that you've become a millionaire at the age of 21, and with Marj's Goodbye you also become a multi-millionaire at the age about 24, 25 as well. So what we want to know is, as being a young students watching this, or any youngsters or aspiring entrepreneurs, how did you actually get to that stage?
Wow. Well, I have to 100% have to acknowledge the fact that Guru and Waheguru within ourselves, and also my parents. So that's really what it's about. My siblings, so I'm the youngest of 8 children, so we've all sort of kind of stuck out together, and I've only seen this excellence within everybody else. So we've all grown up together. Out of 8 children, there's two brothers, myself and my elder brother Manmohan Singh Wahiwala, who had a very strong impact in my life in the sense of keeping me aspiring, keeping me wanting to progress and want to see something new, whether it's in cars or audio or whatever it was. And then on the same token, all my sisters have been just tremendous, because they're actually all entrepreneurs as well. So how it started, or what actually impacted me, would be just because obviously if the people are listening and it's for the young generation, I spend an awful lot of my time these days trying to assist the next generation as well. So we'll probably talk about that a bit later. But it started with a lovely shop on the corner of Cromwell Road here in Peterborough. And that's not to be mixed up with Cromwell Street for the people who are old enough, and you'll recognise what I'm talking about. But it was actually a shop that I took over with, it was a hardware store. And what we did is we turned this hardware store into kind of like a central hub. It was already the hub of the Sikh community, but also the Pakistani community, and then also the Hindu community as well. And before that, it was the Afro-Caribbean community, Italian community. Everyone just hung out together. We all looked after each other, the Polish community as well. So my father was very, very influential in this particular arena in the area of Peterborough, which is East Anglia, and he's been a sevak across the globe, with Sikhi understanding Gurdwara Sahib, setting him up. Even the Peterborough Gurdwara Sahib was originally Maharaj de Kirpa Dena. This is not Mera, this is basically Mera Mujh Mein Kuch Nahi, Jo Kuch Hai So Tera. Sorry, Kitch, for the adjustments there. and so my father actually donated the very first Gurdwara Sahib building here in Peterborough as well in 1973. So they've always been in the vein of Sikhi is a part of us. So I started with the business when I was about 16 years old. I was still studying wanted to become an architect at the time, because I was forever surrounded by my father with these maps and plans and constant adjustment, because he's a developer as well. And so what we did basically is we continued to work in the same vein, and I used to see his stuff. And so at 16 I was very clear what I wanted to be. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I wanted specifically to be an architect. And my mum said to me at the time, she said, but I'm sure there's a way that you can work out, this is all yours anyway, yours and your brothers and your children, your siblings. Because Dad had built up a multiple group of companies. Probably one of the first within the community, is very, very well established in property since 1967, etc. And so I said, I want to be an architect. She said, I'm sure you can work a way out of becoming an architect and running one of the shops as well. And so I did. Basically went to college instead of staying on at school, and I ran that particular houseware store in an earlier year. That gives you an indication to kind of where I was going. We turned that business around, and from that business was spawned a further 2 companies. One was an audio company, one was a pots and pans wholesale as well, and a number of others as well did come through over the years. So it was for me, that was the seat of my, you could say, seat of the soul, you could say seat of my business career in the way I learned. But I've always been stacking shelves. I've worked hard. I've done the 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock at night finishes, and 5 years or 7 days. All those things. You mustn't think that there is an easy route, and if there is an easy route, there's an easy way down as well. So you've got to have that hard graft ethic and resilience within oneself. And that's
definitely. I mean, the road to success is not the easiest route, as you mentioned. I mean, it won't be just a straight line. There will be ups and downs, bumps going over as well. And talking about, the road to success, on your road, on your journey, did you face any hardships, any difficulties during your journey? And if so, how did you overcome these?
Well, that's a really deep question. Thank you, Hamraj, once again. The reality of life is that there is, if I may just quote a bit of Guru as well, again, dukh dharu, sukh rog baya. So without our dukh, we don't actually even acknowledge the sukh. So should I say sukh, if we stayed in a role of sukh without any contention in our life, without any pressure, how would we unleash the diamond within? How would that happen? Will we be in a constant state of trying to find problems in the good that we have? Regularly we talk about Western challenges compared to Eastern challenges, like we don't have, oh my God, I don't have Wi-Fi, and that's a seriously a Western thought, isn't it? So the contention is real, the context is Western. Does that make sense? The fact that we have become reliant on the internet is real. So, but the fact that it's over here and we're not worried about our water in the morning and our food during the day, but we're looking at the luxuries of life. Contention is still there at every level. So in my opinion, there is no refinement of yourself, of your soul, of your unlocking, unless you have some contention in life. So on that purpose, on that way, on the way we've always had to grow. So one would be to raise finance, capital, sales, whatever it is. I mean, it's not always been a plain sailing business, and that's life. But that's a part of the ebbs and flows that keep you alive, awake, the variety of life. And I go back to the original conversation that I was sharing a moment ago about the inner resilience. That resilience is the key element. That's where I see it.
Wow. And that, of course, helped you drive through all the way from a young age to where we are right now. And what we want to know, of course, you are a respected member in the Sikh community, but there must be a reason why you're a respected member. So what we want to know is, what are your current projects?
Oh, good question. Okay, so today I have a variety of businesses. So we work within the normal development, property, landlording, that kind of stuff, which is very key. But what's really close to my heart is I spend a lot of time in moulding and assisting other children, teenagers, people who've just left university. So people who want to further themselves in business. Maybe people who've come from a professional background who want to then jump into a business background. Just last week, two brothers joined our group of mentoring, a circle of mentoring, and basically it's on the best that they've tried online retail a number of times. They're both very solid professionals, and they've had this gut feeling and, should I say, the resilience and the belief in themselves to try and become entrepreneurs as well. And so they've done their best, they've tried their best, and they've got stuck with some stock, and they've not really found the right route. And what the question was, which is exactly why I stand in the marketplace today, is that I was lucky. I had both my parents. If I had a challenge, or if I didn't know how to do something, I would just ask them, or I'd ask my community, my team, which is my family, And so I had the answer on tap. So how could we create that same instant support for the next generation, for people who haven't had a business background? And so that was my mission, and that was the hypotheses that we were trying to resolve. So we've created a platform called the Inspired Group, and what we do within there is we're involved with this. There's an organisation which is our charitable arm and our seva to the Sangat and the world as a whole, and it's called SikhEntrepreneur.com. So you can get hold of me through there as well. Sikh Entrepreneur is a global platform. We're also involved very, very strongly with SikhRoleModel.com, which is based in Pune in India as well. I'm one of the board there as well. And today we also have an online university we call the InspiredUniversity.com, where you can go and you can take some courses which show you business strategy and structure, but also the inner psychology, resilience, and furtherment of oneself. So all of these are a part of within a mentoring circle that I deliver. So I deliver private trainings to CEOs and people of similar sort of caliber, also individuals who are just trying and starting off in their business journey. So it's a very rewarding journey for myself. So we have a series of trainings that I deliver. Education, there's one this weekend, and I think hopefully somebody will be there as well. When I talk about procrastination, so I basically work with the unlocking of the brain. What in Sikhi it's core to have the intention clear and pure, and then and only then we can start to create some change in our life. So we have programs. I have a mentoring circle, and I help personal people individually. Like I said, they've just come on board, two brothers, and now we've already put a strategy in place for them to sell online properly with the support. So it's about being available for people when they need them through a program.
And of course, online is the best way to access as many people as possible. I mean, everyone's got Wi-Fi these days. If not, people can just get data somehow, or you could even get a hotspot. So that's probably the best way forward as well, which is absolutely amazing. And talking about your mentoring schemes, I mean, I found out just not too long ago that you've been supporting the Sikh organisations as well in leadership. Could you tell us a bit more about that, please?
Maharaj has been very, very good to us in every way. So I think part of our Daswant's not just about getting the money element of your life, donating money over to somebody else to make change. Maharaj says, do it by your own hand. Right. So Daswant is by your own hat. So what we try to do, what my family's philosophy is, and in specific my philosophy, which I've evolved a little bit further, is to assist people with the inner ignition. So I talk very deeply about inner psychometrics, so people really truly understand themselves through whether they're a dominant character, whether they're an influential character, whether they're a stability character who likes to keep things orderly, or whether they're a compliant character which likes things to be in order and structure and pressings. So we've created a series of programs that really inspire and ignite individuals' self-belief, self-confidence, and align it with Sikhi for the people who are in the Sikh vein, and the people who are not Sikhs, we just attach them to something, a greater strength outside of themselves, so they can actually really realize that the person who's going to create the changes of themselves within themselves, and that will go up forward. I hope that helps a little bit in the conversation. And with the Sikh groups, like we've had the Upar Kirpa that we have actually been able to share through my daughter, who is called Sukhi Wahiwala, who is the president of the Aston. She was the vice president, of the Aston Sikh Society for students, and also involved with BOSS, and through many other amazing sevadar that we've started to train in self-leadership and the ignition of self-leadership and how to ignite other people's worlds through to all of that senior team every single year, all the sevak that come forward from the BOSS societies and stuff. So yes, this is something there, but I find myself truly humbled and very, very, I feel very honoured to be at least have something that Maharaj has shared with ourselves in our Bidi to pass on into the next generation. So I really do it with whole heart, and I try to evolve. If anybody's got a question, I really answer it. So even when we're working online with people, I do one-to-one trainings as well, and physical trainings as well. So.
Wow, that's amazing. And talking about BOSS, the British Organisation of Sikh Students, I mean, personally, I've had a chance to actually meet the senior team as well, and actually be a part of the leadership scheme. So, of course, the team that you've helped train, they trained the youth. So, I've got to say it was an incredible experience. And, just big respects to the whole of the British Organisation team watching right now. And if you do want to get involved and support the team, you can always contact BOSS on social media as well. And you also can contact Baji as well on all these contacts, social media and online as well. I mean, online is the way forward, isn't it? It's the best way to cook.
It is. I mean, online has leveled the playing field for business, and it's allowed a generation to access real-time, you could say, business acumen. So they can you can learn via online, but more importantly, you can actually earn via online. And so whether it's retail, Amazon, eBay, etc., the world really has become a smaller place. In my day, when we used to have to import, we'd have to travel, I'm not joking, thousands of miles across to the Eastern Hemisphere to buy stock in. But as a whole, now you just go onto line and go onto Alibaba or find a relevant product. I will say one thing, that the future is in the search to know where to find the product, whatever product you're trying to source, where to actually find that product. If you can allocate a bit of concentration power to things like searching for the right people, searching for the right product. If you're going to sell the crockery, you need to find the exact place to find the best place. My father always says, when I had the humble pleasure of interviewing him as well in the local radio here in Peterborough, he said that always try to go back to source, go back to the person who's actually manufactured it and get first hand, and then try to cut out all the middlemen for the margin. So these are just things that we've learned over the years.
That's a top tip right there, ladies and gentlemen. Free top tip advice from Sukhi Wahiwala himself. Cut out the middleman, get straight to the source. That's absolutely amazing. Now, of course, there's no hiding the fact that you are a very hard-working Amrit Sikh living in the UK. And what we want to know is, of course, during your journey towards success wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. Now, you've established yourself as an Amrit Sikh. What we want to know is, what are your future aspirations, your future goals? Where are you looking to head towards?
Wow. So I think, if I can talk about it a bit more in short term, we're actually on a beautiful journey. And I think when Amrit is a hukum, if we're blessed and we're selected by Maharaj to have that inner ignition, then so be it. If not, then we should all still endeavour to be the best human we can possibly be. It's not just about being Amrit Sikh over somebody else, and we don't have our you could say, hierarchy within ourselves. So I think in my version of me being an Amrit Shakya individual or a Sikh, is for actually me to lower myself at the bottom of the tree instead of at the top of the tree. So our visualization, the moment you start Shakking Amrit, you automatically become the base, the tur in front of other people, so you can actually work with the community in an honest way. So I think our future is to have even more people go through our trainings and education, so we can actually create a beautiful long-term growth within the community to inspire true entrepreneurship, successful entrepreneurship, but with a sharing element of the someone within that to share, not necessarily just the money, to share the logic with the next generation. So a legacy product that I'm willing to or wishing to try to create, hopefully Maharaj can actually accept and bless me with that, with a guru, that I'm trying to ignite guru within other people, but also give them the tools and the psychological, spiritual attainment so they can actually be the best human being they possibly be at the same time as earning capital and money. And then for them to have the inspiration to share it with other people. That's the key. I've written a methodology which is called the Synagogus method. And with the Synagogus method, if I can just share just a few moments about it. Synagogus, basically, the word syna is a joining of two separates. For example, two ones become two, or when they become two, it's no longer two ones, it's the number two, so it's something completely different. And gus is an ancient word for God, or for the maker, creator. So the principal understanding of synagogus is for when a person joins with their spiritual entity, they become a new version of themselves. Does that make sense? So the Synagogue method itself is something that we deliver across the globe. I have students around the globe. We have over 830 live active students now, and on top of that we also have trained thousands of people around the planet who have gone through the processes. So I look specifically to ignite other people to share that method and learning and journey with other people, helping them to get through things like anxieties, depressions, you could say things like focus, getting past procrastinations, wanting to do something but putting it off again and again, which is a pandemic now these days because of our social media interface and our habitual logic of multitasking and things of that sort of nature. So on the TED platform I've shared with Maharaj the Kirpa, I've been blessed with over 160, 170,000 views, I think it is. Yeah, nearly 200,000 views already. Wow, Waheguru. And all I know is that it's changing people's worlds. So the intention for us is basically to create a complete Sampurna human being, which is a complete human being, somebody who can do as they wish and has the inner, what we call confidence, to be able to take any action that they wish to in the right vein.
Gee. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now, of course, it's incredible to hear that most people think of businessmen to think about only after the money, but it's amazing to hear firsthand that you base your business, you base your whole mentoring, all these projects that you work on all around Guru's Bani and Maharaj's Hukum, and that's how it should be. We should be revolving ourselves around the one light, and that's, it's inspiring. Being a youngster myself, and I'm sure all the youngsters watching as well, they must be feeling inspired as well. And talking about the young generation, of course, there's no doubt that we know that you're a multi-millionaire, and of course, like we mentioned earlier, you hit the achievement of becoming a millionaire at the age of 21 and a multi-millionaire at the age of about 24, 25. What we want to know is what number one tip or advice would you give to young aspiring youngsters or entrepreneurs who are watching?
Wow, it's really simple. Get clear. Get clear on who you are as a human being, as a person, as an individual. When you learn yourself better, that means scientifically, go and do a DISC assessment. If you don't know where that's from, come onto the inspireduniversity.com and do an assessment. Get an assessment. That's the best investment you'd ever make on yourself, within yourself. So learn yourself in order for you to interact with the world on their base as well, so that you can always convert your logic inside. That gives you a true inner ignition of self-confidence and belief, so that you know why you do certain things, such as if I'm a dominant character, why I tend not to listen to other people and want my view on everything else. If I'm an inspirer, how I start things but don't necessarily finish them. And if I'm stability, how I don't want to take large jumps and I want to be looking at stability and is the house okay, the family okay, that kind of thing. And if I'm a compliant person, how I look for the strategy and the structure before I take any action and try to factualize it. Every one of these worlds, every one of them is absolutely correct. There is no wrong and there's no right. The Guru says to us that we don't look for fault in anybody else. Basically, learn yourself. Become the inner confident self with humility, with kirpa, and then go and create the change in the worlds of others. If you want to be in business, then go and be in business. Become resilient. Action, action, action. Connect with people who inspire you. You can't have a mentor that doesn't inspire you. I hope some of these thoughts have been helpful to the people who are listening today. And if they want to reach out to me, is it okay to share my details? Because absolutely welcome to come and reach out with me. You'll find that I will respond, and I do respond back. And I do try to help as much as I possibly can within the time constraints that I have. But please just search me on YouTube, Facebook, any of the out there. It's always the same, Sukhi Wahiwala. And if anybody would like to contact me directly, just literally search for me on WhatsApp and just text me directly there, or via Messenger. I'm very happy to be communicated and contacted. Or go onto the sukhiwahiwala.com, and there's a little tab straight on there. You can just contact me directly and it'll come straight to me. So I'd be very humbled. I think the best thing that anybody could do is to learn themselves, learn why they do certain things, for what benefits, and then commit to something, get clear on why they want to take an action in a particular way, and just become resilient towards it. There are going to be ups and downs. Dyson had around 4,000 failures before he turned around and found the right mechanism that worked. We go through Stallone did over 100 rejections before he carried on, but the resilience, the relentlessness is what I would suggest we need to put in there. And our Gom is full of it, because that's what Sikhi is all and truly about. So the Gurus have given us the strength, for ourselves to stand tall, not just for ourselves, not just for our qawm, but for other people who we need to stand for as well. So I would say my message would be is to believe in yourself. You can do it. Reach out to people like ourselves and let's try and see if we can create the change in the world.
Absolutely incredible and very inspiring as well. I mean, so Sar Sangji, you heard it live and direct. Be sure who you are first, learn about yourself, your past, your background, be clear, and then be resilient towards your path as well. And most importantly, follow Marj's hukum. I mean, it's an absolute honour to have you on the show, and we hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And Saad Sangji, we hope that you guys enjoyed the show. As always, if any mistakes have been made, please do forgive us.
If any mistakes I've made, please do respectfully give me the blessings of trying to be better next time.
So Saad Sangji, we hope and wish you guys all a great day. On this note, we will conclude today's episode. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.